Is this comment racist? Racism is the belief that one or more races are superior than one or more other races. Prejudice is prejudging someone or a group of someones based on a set of, often inaccurate, biases and stereotypes. You can be prejudiced regarding a wide range of attributes, including race. You can say a racist statement without it also being prejudice, even though those sentiments often go hand in hand. So yes, the ops statement in question is racist. Absolutely racist. It's right there in the comment, an advanced race. The same person who said that about the Japanese is in the comments section of anime videos on Pornhub. Yes, the stereotype of the model minority has been around for a long time. Folks who perpetuate it insist they can't be racist because they think they are being complimentary, but it is still a stereotype, still harmful and still racist. https://en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/model-minority https www.learningforjustice.org/magazine/what-is-the-model-minority myth. Yep, it implies that Japanese all collectively have superior genetics and the qualities the poster likes are derived from their inherent qualities instead of their upbringing. Plus I am not sure how many actual Japanese people they have interacted with, because they can be as flawed as anyone else. If you're saying Japanese people are better than everyone else, that's a form of racism. Probably just some dude obsessed with anime. Emphatically yes, without qualification. That is 100% the textbook definition of racism. It's a form of supremacism that can easily be associated with groups that think they are better than others. These people are often racist. If two babies of different races were raised from birth until adulthood without being treated differently from each other, in an environment completely disassociated from the outside world, they would most probably behave, think and talk similarly, and have similar interests and lifestyles. Race is a social construct. Race exists because society decided that people should be categorized into groups based on their physical appearances. The only biological thing about race is the evolution factor that caused people to look similar to others in their race because of how and where their ancestors lived. Most of these other comments are right. It's definitely racist. I have one other thing to add that I haven't seen. Hopefully I didn't just miss where someone else said it. We could compare this to sexism. When men put women on a pedestal, we can call it white knight sexism. These men don't have negative feelings toward women. They don't hate them, but in placing them in a position that doesn't apply, women get objectified. The man doesn't see this woman as human just like he is, she's special. Women are so much more kind than men. I must use my masculinity to protect her femininity. The vast majority of non-men don't want special treatment for their gender. They want to start at the same baseline regardless of gender. It's not a perfect comparison, but this is similar. It definitely reads as someone who isn't Japanese tokenizing them. It's honestly dehumanizing. The way that commenter views Japanese people is meant to be complimentary, but it's weird and objectifying and assumes that all Japanese people are their idealized view of them. That leaves no space for actual Japanese people to be human and not match this narrative. Here's the real truth. Put a Japanese person in the Congo with no cultural backdrop for being Japanese and they're going to behave like they're from the Congo, with all that entails. Take an American, do the same in rural Afghanistan, and they're going to act like they're from rural Afghanistan, with all that entails. People are by and large the product of their surroundings. including the availability of resources, geographic restrictions and advantages, local random blips of historical significance, etc., all producing a cultural backdrop that an individual then interacts with to become the person they are. There is no such thing as a superior race in any regard. Yes, there may be slight differences in genetic predisposition to intelligence or athleticism or whatever, but they're mostly slight and, in any case, insignificant against the influence of the above. Unless you find a dystopian culture that is literally rooting out people of lesser genetic predisposition to better traits. The expression of genetics upon a given culture, like the Japanese, is next to insignificant, other than things like, hey, we have blue eyes, or, hey, we have black hair, or, hey, we're generally pretty tall, short, muscular, fat. Reality is far more random than that. And survival of the fittest takes a lot longer than a few thousand years to express itself on our genes in any truly significant way. Never forget that two people from polar opposite sides of the world whose ancestors probably diverged 50,000 years ago can still meet, reproduce, and make a perfectly healthy baby. The things that made us truly unique, distinct as a species happened 100,000 plus years ago. Yes, because by default it's calling other races stupid because of genetics, and saying one race has a right to have children over the others because of it. It'd be different if they were acknowledging the differences in races, statistically. But even that has a lot of nuances with differences in economic, social factors. But to say one race is best in all aspects while being advanced, that's supremacy. And yes, that is racist. This is a type of prejudice usually called eugenics. The idea that one group of people have better genetics than another is the root of such opinions. Like, babies with X trait should be aborted. This group shouldn't mix their genetics, breed, with others. And certain groups shouldn't reproduce at all, possibly wanting to sterilize them. This is a common prejudice against certain races, usually of African descent, because of a propaganda push during recent slave ownership that some ethnicities were genetically different. Also comes up in World War II. And some were smarter, better, and people with disabilities, mostly mental. This person is saying that Japanese people should reproduce more, which means they probably think that group of people have better genetics. Since the group is Japanese, it can be hard to tell if this is racism or just prejudice. Asians have a history of being considered something called a model minority. A completely different topic and I don't know much about, but it's probably related. Depending on one's level of white supremacy, Asians might be considered better than others as well. And if I were trying to hide my racism, choosing to elevate Japanese instead of Europeans would sound better and still get my opinion across. It's at least a dog whistle. Yes, it's racist. That's like textbook racism. If you can't immediately tell this is racist, you gotta do some research. XYZ people have inherently better genetics, is one of the most common default types of a racism. The original meaning of racist was the belief that some races were superior or inferior to others, along various dimensions. So yes, that's absolutely racist. Yes, it could be used in the dictionary as an example of racism. I don't know if it's racist, but it's stupid.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.